everyone! I'm Isabella.
I'm Yana, and today we will be discussing about geometric sequence and series. Let's start off with what sequences actually are. A sequence is a set of things, usually numbers, that are in order.
Now, an example of this would be 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, so forth and so on.
In geometric sequences, each term is found by multiplying the previous term by a constant.
So, in general, we will write a geometric sequence like this. A, AR, AR2, AR3, so forth and so on. A is the first term and R is the factor between each terms, which is also called the common ratio. So here's an example. The sequence has a factor of 3 between each number. 3 is the common ratio between each of the numbers, so 3, 9, 27, so forth and so on.
Each term except the first term is found by multiplying the previous term by 3. Be careful, the ratio cannot be 0. When r equals 0, we get the sequence A00, which is not geometric.
Now, what if there's a specific missing number, like in this example, 2, 4, 8, 16, blank, 64?
We will be using this formula to find the missing term. An equals A1 times r raised to n minus 1.
So what does that mean? N is our missing term, A1 is the first term, and r is our common ratio. Now, to find the fifth term, we just have to identify which is which to make it easier for us.
So to find A5, let's substitute the following values in the formula. R is 2, the first term would be 2, and the missing term would be the fifth term. So it would be A5 equals 2 times 2 raised to 5 minus 1.
Now, let's try this example. 5, 25, 125, blank, and 3,125.
So that would be, if we substitute it, it's going to be A4 equals 5 times 5 raised to 4 minus 1. Because the common ratio is 5, the first term is 5, and the missing term we will be looking for is the fourth term. So the answer would be 625. A geometric sequence can also have a smaller and smaller values. For example, is the 4, 2, 1, 0.5, 0.25.
So this sequence has a factor of 0.5 or a half between each of the numbers.
Now let's try these on word problems. The number concert attendees for the band Black Velvet was 10 back in 2014. The next year, there were 25 attendees. If concert attendee numbers continue rising at that rate, how many fans attended their concert in 2018? So let's identify the given first. So A1 would be 10. The common ratio would be 2.5 because 50 divided by 20. So now we're looking for A5, which is the fifth.
So now that we've identified the given, let us substitute it to the formula.
So that would be A5 equals 10 times 2.5 raised to 5 minus 1. A5 would then equate to 390.625 fans.
So that is all for geometric sequences.
Now let us move on to geometric series.
A geometric series is where we get the sum of all the numbers in the sequence. So for example, we want to get the sum of this geometric sequence.
We will be using this formula. Sum of n equals A1 times 1 minus r raised to n over 1 minus r.
So what does that mean? N is the number of terms, A1 is our first term, and R is our common ratio. Here's an example.
For this example, we want to get the sum of the first four terms, which are 10, 30, 90, and 270.
So you have to sum the first four terms of this sequence. To do that, all we have to do is simply substitute them into our formula.
So A equals 10, which is the first term. The common ratio would be 3. N is equals to 4, which is the number of terms that we want to add up together.
So that would be sum of 4 is equal to 10 times 1 minus 3 raised to 4 over 1 minus 3.
And the answer would be 400. Now that we got the basics, let us try doing word problems.
The Orient Express has 45 carriages. If there's 1 passenger in carriage number 1, 3 in carriage number 2, 9 in carriage number 3, and so on, how many passengers are there in total on the Orient Express? So let's identify the given. A1 is 1, R is 3, and S45 is the one that we're looking for.
So let's substitute it to the formula. So S45 equals 1 times 1 minus 3 raised to 45 over 1 minus 3.
So S45 would be 1.477156353 times 10 raised to the 21st passengers. I guess you could say it's a magic train.
And that's all for our lesson today.
We hope you get the lesson.
Thanks for watching. Bye! Okay, that's it. One more. That's it. Okay.